Woof.
Always, whenever you're dealing with a collection company, ask them to remove it because you weren't properly notified or whatever the truth is. But if you found medical debt on your credit report and that's the first time you saw it, you are not properly notified. They are required by law to send something to you in writing before it shows up on your credit report. So reach out to that collection company and say, look, this is the first I've seen it. I would like to take care of it, but it's really pulling down my credit score, and I am concerned about that. What would you take, or would you consider removing it because it wasn't properly reported to me? Removing it from my credit report and not showing it there, and give me a letter that states that it was reported in error. That's very important, that you get a letter from them that says this was reported in error, the account number on company letterhead, with a signature. So once you take that letter, you can go then to the repositories. But you get from them if they're willing to do it. Now, sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. The problem with this is the more that they go back to the repository with an error and then ask it to be removed, the less likely they are going to do that. One of the reasons that is because if they constantly go back to the repository, which is the three major repositories are TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, they gather the information, and then when you pull your credit report, they provide the information. So these collection companies have these relationships with people, with the repositories, and they want to have a good relationship. Well, if they keep going back to the repository with an error, they're like, why are you reporting all these errors to us? Maybe we'll cut you off. And that's not what they want. They want to be able to report accurate information. So if you go to them and you say, look, I'll pay for this, but I wasn't properly notified, can you remove it? Then if they say no, say, well, maybe I shouldn't pay this then. Maybe I'll just dispute it. Or maybe I should go to the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and make a complaint against you there. You don't want to threaten anybody, but you need to let them know what your next moves are. And the CFPB is an agency that's been created to help consumers, to help protect them. And one of the good things that they've done is they've gone after creditors and they've gone after the repositories and they've held their feet to the fire a little bit. So they're a little more responsive now than they used to be, the repositories are. So that is a great thing for them to know. And all of the collection companies are aware of the CFPB. They're all very aware of them. So when you approach them, and if they won't do a pay for delete, if you weren't properly notified, then I would let it sit for a little while and then go back to them. Ask for that again. If they still won't do it and you really want to get it wrapped up, say, look, I'm not sure what this is. It should have been paid by insurance. I will offer you 10% of the total amount and for a paid in full letter from you. So again, get documentation from them that states it's paid in full, okay? Or settle for less than full balance, but it's a zero balance. That's the key. On company letterhead, signed by an individual. That's what you want. Once you get that letter, you can then go to the repositories and straighten it out. But I tell people, don't go to the repositories first. Go to the creditor first, and then work your way back to the repository. Hopefully you'll get some solution. Once you have that letter that's paid in full or reported in error, you then go to the repositories, all three of them, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. And then you then show them the documentation, and they will remove it or show it at least as paid. You want to do that so that time goes by. So you don't want to do that right before a mortgage. You want to do that months before a mortgage. If you want to get a mortgage in 6 months, you want to do that now and then wait 6 months to get the mortgage. You don't want to do that right before the mortgage because right now on the current FICO scoring model that all the lenders are using, that will bring your score down. The more recent a collection, paid or unpaid, the more likely, the more relevant, I should say, it is to the scoring model. So again, keep that in mind when you think about paying a collection. Do you want to pay it off now?